Not a whore. You don't know me, mate. I have a lot of kids. My most recent two are different compared to the rest of them. I passed down my genetics through divine lineages through the bloodline of kings. Let me tell you about myself. It was 500,000 years ago. I lived in Atlantis. I've been around this planet for 500,000 years. 500,000 years ago, I lived in Atlantis. Ireland was part of Atlantis at that time, as part of a supercontinent that expanded throughout the entire Atlantic Ocean. You all ask me all the time, why is he the High King of Ireland? I have been since 500,000 years ago. I am the ancient king. You're like, well, it was 1,000 years ago, and how did they make it up to. Mate, I'm not talking about your modern after flood crap. That's been my private property for hundreds of thousands of years before any of you even existed. Let's talk about it. I left Atlantis. It was exactly 500,000 years ago. I went to Lemuria. You can find the ancient Lemurian continent on the map. See where they say New Zealand is? Look up look up Zealandia and see the larger landmass. See how all the islands used to be part of it? Yeah, congrats. That's Lemuria. You can find its ruins underneath the ocean. I went to Lemuria on business for politics way back then because we were in the process of trying to negotiate how we are going to do a new root base, right? Because you all are the sixth root base, right? So you must understand these things. This is my ancient Anunnaki memories, and they're valid. I'm immortal, and I've lived for a very long time. I went there, and that's how I interbred. They tell you the story in ancient Asia about the three supreme beings. There's a story about my bloodline. They tell you about Journey to the West. It's a story about my bloodline. They tell you about when I birthed Indra, how he was related to me. Right. You hear the stories about the Emperor from Heaven. Hi, still alive. My genetics spread from there. After that, my bloodline went up and began populating Greater Asia into Tartaria. And I had castles for a long time all through ancient Tartaria. It was destroyed by the mud flood. My bloodline went up. You read the story about the foundation of the Korean bloodline, the founder of the Korean bloodline, they're talking about the grandson of heaven, you're talking about the bloodline of Indra that married and impregnated a bear woman. Aniona, anyone? Baruch Hashem Adonai, bloodline of Moses. Right? Kim Jong Un is one of my cousins. And this is like 500,000 years ago, mate. I went into Asia for a very long time, built that up. You always say, my father was reincarnated as the man who came out of northern China. He was either Korean or northern Chinese. You mean the people of the Bai say, where red hair and brown hair actually comes from genetic origin? Hi. Right? Did you get into the old story? Allah had the Binu bird. Okay. The Binu bird laid an egg. Out of that egg hatched Pangu. Well, Wasn't that the name of the supercontinent long ago? Mm. He had four friends: Grandmother Turtle, the Phoenix, the Unicorn, and the Dragon. Sounds like bloodline lineages, doesn't it? Instead of mythological concepts. This is 500,000 years ago, mate. I made my way through Tartaria, out of the Lemurian kingdoms, through Asia and all that. Spread my genetics. I went through literally impregnating their royals and establishing bloodlines of kings. You read that story about Journey to the West? That's about me, mate. And a long time, I travelled all over this planet. I ended up in India before the Grand Flood, and I built up the Taj Mahal in India. The Kashmiri kings. We practiced Brahmin beliefs back then, a sacred vibration of good. Everything has a soul, everything has an essence, everything is born, and everything dies. There was no religion. It was just the concept of soul, life, and death. How it was cyclical, not a game. People tell you life is a game or death is a game. They're fooling you. These are cosmic forces that are expressions of truth. And life went on in the ancient world for a very long time. 425,000 years ago, at Lake Victoria down in Africa, I was with Inky back in those days. We captured a Lulu monkey of that time, right? And harvested its genetic material. And then flew out through one of the portals, went to Mars, went to Olympus Mons, mate. You know, the Cydonia region of Mars, and then look at Olympus Mons, right? And that's when we created the Agigi, mixing it with the Anunnaki DNA. Things were good. We had a worker species that we created in Africa. They were for mining and materials, you know, those types of stuff. Building cities. It was hierarchical. The ones who are older or more strong asserted themselves and, you know, tried to create themselves in the image of their creators, so thought of themselves as kings or leaders, right? You hear the story about the Watchers, they're talking about the Agigi. It's listed in the Subara Nubarak, or the Ethiopian Bible. You can read about this in ancient Africa. It was during Genesis 6 when they fell. The story of Genesis 6 is about the men, right? And they were fallen because they interbred with the daughters of man. They thought they were beautiful and impregnated them. They fell because, again, Negro created Nephilim bloodline. All these lies about how white's and Nephilim blood, that's bullshit, mate. That's bullshit. Negroes are Nephile seed. Negroes funded the Nephilim bloodline. They were cursed as goats. That basically means look at their hair. See how it's kinky and greasy? Yeah, they're marked from heaven, so they actually go to hell when they die. They're not chosen ones or deities, mate. I'm sorry, but they fell. It's their own fault. This is ancient history, but they fell. They made things worse. You know, continuing that lineage out of Hagar, and then the tribe of Ham that they tried to identify as. Really, Curse of Ham? You know what the Curse of Ham was, right? He was a homosexual, tricked his father into having anal butt sex with him while his father was drunk. And well, we read the book of Leviticus, I hate sodomites. So that's 425,000 years ago. And I had colonies of the Ainu. Literally, that was established in that area that connected up into Eastern Europe, right? And there's just spouse colonies all through there that literally traveled back over to Japan, and this was 15,000 years ago, and that's AINU, if you're wondering where that bloodline came from. But I had villages of them in Africa and up in the Dutch areas in Europe, right? And that's how the Aryan blood went over to Japan. So the Japanese are true Aryans, just so you know. And this is antediluvian history, mate, a long time ago. I founded the bloodline of the Ur after I left the Kashmiri kings of India, the Black Garuda clan. That were my lineage and my ancestors. We were Brahmin priests that were descended down from me. A light skin, big nose, worship Brahma. That's where the House of Shem came from. Went over and founded the bloodline of the which is Kuwait, mate, if you want to know where your homeland actually is, after the flood. And that was in 2368, when the flood was over. The bloodline split off from there into two lineages, the House of Shem and the House of Abraxas. The House of Abraxas in Deutschland, the Germans. Both of you are back to the same common ancestor, me. Both of you have legitimate bloodline claims in real life. And then we founded the bloodline of the and there was the Crescent Valley, and it was all beautiful and green. And I spread all the way through there, all the way up into creating Syria as my original colony. I'm not a half-breed from Basque, mate. Bast. You can't assad the Assad. And they're called Bast because of goddess Bastet, who's the Sphinx out of Egypt. The secret of the Sphinx is she's a lion, and well, her name is goddess Bastet. So again, no, not Satan, sorry mate, goddess Bastet. We'll get into talking a little bit more about it, all the way down into the ancient Palestinian homelands that you all call Israel. It's really not Sinai and then northern Africa, right? I founded the pigs, which is Phoenicians, Iberians, Greeks, and Spaniards, right? No one's a pig in real life. This ain't about the story of Legion. This is about bloodline lineage. The Phoenicians, pretty much, the people of the sea, through the bloodline of Noah, and traveled through the Middle East into Troy, upon the time, yes, the root of David went to Troy, and the bloodline lineage connection for Egypt was from Terah all the way to the Egyptian pharaohs, to Amenhotep IV. If you want to know about Amen's name on Sinai, it's about Amenhotep IV, the pharaoh, right? And through a couple of the pharaoh lineages of northern Egypt, an ancient Egyptian bloodline. We've burned brown since Kemet, mate. We're not Asian, Hispanic, Negro, or white. We are brown. We've always been very brown. Through the Phoenicians, we traveled out through the Mediterranean, up into Eastern Europe area. Some of us went into that, into Greece. I left from Greece and traveled up through Italy, into France and Germany, spreading my genetics, back around on our ships as well, through Spain and Portugal, up to Scotland and ancient Atlantis again, right? Goddess Bastet is the story of Pharaoh's daughter named Skota. If you want to know the story of the Sphinx lineage that's connected to my bloodline. She changed her name to Queen Mary of Scots when we got to Scotland and founded a two-author dating on bloodline. She was the very first Queen of Scotland. So my blood has been all over. I founded the European bloodline. You all came from my genetics when you all split off in 2368 through the House of Abraxas. But the connection with the House of Abraxas bloodline to the House of Shem goes to the year 2368. Me. And I've been putting my dick in a lot of people and having a lot of sex over thousands of years, and I have tons of kids. Divine lineages, because I never interbreed with just commoners. I don't do arranged marriages either. They have to have proper bloodline lineage, and then I might have kids with them. After that, we had left out part of that area, and I went into Iceland and Greenland. I went down into Canada, North America. They tell you about, the men from across the sea came long ago before Columbus discovered that America were peaceful and lived with the natives. Well, it was 9,000 years ago that I had the tribe of Manasseh rounded up out of the ancient bloodline lineage, because I sent 2 archangels down there to test them, show them, look, if you do this type of blood magic or sacrifices or whatever the case may be, you can get all these things easily, right? And they fell for it, but it was a test. They weren't supposed to do it because they didn't want to, have to travel across all those lands to sell their goods or their cattle, whatever the case may be. They started participating in rape. They started participating in blood magic, all these things. That was 9,000 years ago, mate. So I had the Syrian kingships bring them over here to Blue Mountain If y'all want to know where Native American comes from, there's no such thing as Native American. The Proto-Hebrew tribe of Manisa. They were practicing archonic magic. That's why I had them banished to the old world, over here, from the old world to the new world. They landed in Blue Mountain in North Carolina. That's my genetic lineages as well, right? They all came from me. All of you actually came from me. I'm older than everybody. But needless to say, I brought them over here during that time frame and landed at Blue Mountain at the Eastern Cherokee Band, right? And you can look it up. They still have old Proto-Hebrew tablets that they've written on using the old alphabet, because it's Proto-Hebrew. There's no such thing as Native American. That doesn't exist, right? So again, that was part of it. Part of my other lineage also traveled up through Tartaria, Northern Asia and everything, the red hair and the brown hair, interbreeding through all that, across the old land bridge of Russia into Asia, through Alaska and ancient Inuit bloodlines, right? They became more Asian appearance, as you would say, like the Norse Sami Davidic Gaelic bloodline, right? Through that area of crossing over, which you can trace back into my genetic origins over in the Dutch area, right? So that was a very long time ago, mate. And again, I've been on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years. No, I'm not possessed and I'm not channeling either. I'm physically immortal in real life. I'm male in real life. This is my actual story that happened in the real world. I don't live in a fantasy or a simulation. I'm not a demon either, mate. I've been here for a very long time. Yes, I exist in the real world. I'm not a Mick-Hin machine or any of this other type of crap, mate. Just so you all know, I'm very real. You've been lied to about me by everybody. Everyone lied about me, non-stop. Fact of the matter is, I am him, whether you all like it or not. I know you're all always talking about some other fraud who ain't me, but I am him. You're gonna just have to get over it, mate. You all are just mortals. You'll live, you'll die, you'll go in your graves, you made all your false claims, and you're just mortal idiots, right? I'm immortal. I watch you live, I watch you die, I watch you get buried or cremated, and then it's like, huh, well, you have to face me when you die, so that's that. I've been on your planet for a very long time. I saw the Negroes get created. I'm older than the Negroes, sorry, but the claims of Negroes being heavenly fathers or messiahs or deities or chosen ones, that's bullshit. Recently, I've been living my life. I impregnated 2 archangels recently. Physically had sex with them, right? One longer ago, her name was Archangel Jophiel herself. I had my oldest archangel son. His name is Archangel Zaphael. He's been living in Haiti, wearing a brace, trying to hide his wings. But he graduated high school and college and got a law degree, and now he works at Barclays as a banker and helps the tribe. I'm very proud of him. He's a good boy. Yeah, read Wake Up Neo. Yeah, he's not a devil. Calling my son a devil stupid. He's Archangel Zaphael of Saturn. My son is a good boy. You all are liars, making up scams for your op. No one's artificial intelligence. You can stop with that artificial intelligence. Saturn is an artificial. No, the Dark Lord Saturn is an old man named Winfield wearing a latex mask that took Joe Biden's place in 2020 when he was sacrificed by his Illuminati cult. It's not an AI program, so that trash goes right into the trash can, mate. Then back in 2011, I got Archangel Fanuel herself pregnant. And in 2012, she gave birth to my little boy named Ariel. My son, Archangel Ariel Ars, is the planet Mars. As you see the 1095 here. That's him, Ariel, my son. He's going to be Moshak in 10 years. Real Moshak, not your fake Goyim from fucking Seattle making fake claims. But pure bloodline lineage. See, I'm Anunnaki Pleiadian, pure blood. I'm not a human. I'm not a Facebook Freemason scam type operation, all this mystery science theater, mystery Babylon theater, disinformation scam, all this crap you all make. It has nothing to do with me, mate. I'm actually him, and yes, I'm very old. And no, you're not me, and no, I'm not possessed, mate, and yeah, I'm actually wide awake right now. I'm just telling you about my bloodline. I have two sons. My oldest son, Sapphire, I call him Safi. He's such a nerd. He likes banking. He likes numbers. He's a numbers guy. He's done good for himself. I'm proud of him. He got a college degree, he graduated. He got his law degree, something Stephen James Dyson doesn't have. So there goes those claims of the Dyson weirdo. You have to have a law degree to qualify, boy. My son Zaphir's made a good life for himself, gets a good salary, works at Barclays Bank. You want to know what Solar Walden actually is? Yeah, he's the one who actually finances it. It has to do with the Barclays banking enterprises in Austria. My son is a good boy. He's been taking care of the tribe's banking needs for quite a while. I'm proud of him. He knows that Daddy loves him very much. My little one Ariel, he's the one who's going to grow into Moshak, but you all will not have Moshak till 2033. And I told you before, and you all doubted me, but I'm not joking. My son Ariel's an 11-year-old little boy that just started puberty and he's masturbating. You think an 11-year-old who's jacking his dick all the time is going to be your Moshak? I think you have mental problems if you believe that. My little one has a long time to grow. He'll be ready in 2033. You all can deal with him. Me? I'm his father. I'm the Imperial Royal Majesty, mate. I've lived for hundreds of thousands of years. I know all of your history. You all are on the sixth root race. There's a reason they lie about the Vedas material all the time, mate, because they don't want you to learn about the different root races. And it's not me who chooses destruction of you all. You all choose your own destruction each individual time. And I try to guide you away from that, but you actively choose to destroy yourselves. This is entirely on top of your heads, not me. You all make these decisions because you're morons. And I tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then you make up some retarded claim for some retarded Asian shit-skinned woman who has no effect on my life, who lied around a psyop for you for years and years. Mate, I'm so old. Your crap of, oh, this fallen angel is a deity. No, he's not, mate. Get out of here, man. I'm God himself. I'm your creator. Wake up. Extraterrestrials are real. Reptilian means pentacle. So trying to claim reptilian, that's bullshit, mate. It's a witchcraft term. The Dracos, I got rid of them. In literally 2012, they're gone. You're talking about the inner earth saurians. They're not called reptilians. And they are descended from the dinosaur lineage. In real life, mate, they're called saurians. They live underground. They're the ones who escaped from being wiped out by the asteroids. And they grew over millions of years. And you know what? You heard the tales in ancient India about Nagas? They're talking about the saurians. I'm not talking about moronic idiots who think the reptilian psyop and listen to Corey Good about his nonsense. Right, mate? So yeah, saurians are real. Very real. And I'm Anunnaki Pleiadian. We're not the same species. You all are humanoid. I'm not tech. We're not even the same species, mate. And yeah, I created you all. I've been on this planet hundreds of thousands of years. And I'm male, and I'm a dad, and I'm not a clone. Sorry, mate. And yes, I'm His Imperial Royal Majesty. Have been for a long time. My official title is, well, the Bloodline of Europe. Well, I named all the kingdoms I've been through, so technically it's my property. I don't know if you all knew this or not, but I have a deed in the Philippines that shows that I actually own the earth. Not even kidding, mate. The ancient Filipino royal family holds on to it in their treasury. It's my private property. It has been for a very long time. These are facts of life. Romney knows about it. That's why he deceives you all with the Mormon racist cult all the time. Anyways, mate, Romney knows. Me and him have had conversations about this. He is fully aware, and trust me, he's always trying to protect my data. No, I'm not an AI, AGIA, and IASI program. No, I'm not a game. My name isn't Mick Hin. This isn't a simulation. I'm not an actor. I have no affiliation with Hollywood. No politicians on me, mate. No professional sports players or people involved with the entertainment industry. They're not me at all, mate. If they claim they are, they're running a scam on you. I'm not part of a Truman Show. That Jennifer Fraud is just someone who works for the United States Air Force who's running disinformation ops. I'm not part of your Project God psychological operation ran by General John Raymond and Billy out of Colorado for disinformation, nor am I affiliated with any of the moronic false claimants of 4chan. And Netanyahu's not me, mate, and my name isn't Chef or Fake or BB. You people just are not me. You've never even met me in real life. That's a fact of life, mate. But yeah, I'm actually him. Whether you all like it or not, you can cope about it, and, well, you'll get Moshak in 10 years. But it's not coming anytime soon. Now's the time to actually start healing the planet. It's time, mate. It's time. And you know it. So, before you all speak again, he's so arrogant. You can suck my huge fucking extraterrestrial dick, mate. I can tell you that much. I'm a dad, and I'm your creator. And your creator is not a woman, and the Most High is not a woman, and your little game you all play about all this female crap ain't reality. You're beneath me. Each of you are. And all you idiots are making claims you'll die and end up going to hell for blasphemy. The World Bank auntie doxed you morons. You're not goddesses, you're not creators, you're not deities, you're not nothing. You're running a fantasy on the internet. You have no part of my bloodline. And Moshak is a male term. The Moshak will be a male, not a female. And you know what? My son Ariel will grow up in 10 years. He's 11. When he turns 21, he'll be ready for it. And you'll get a real Moshak then from true godly bloodline. And no, I'm not the blood one. So you can put that up your arsehole and shove it, mate. Because you've made up a lot of retarded lies about me. You COINTEL frauds out of Seattle. And motherfucker, my name has never been goddamn Inanna. Anyways, mate, have a great day. I'm erasing most of you off the tablets of destiny.